If there's going to be a response,
the governors that surrounded Peter Obi, they are all failures.
The very definition of failure is the APC and all who are associated with it.
See these people for APC. No be small issue with JAM say we allow people like these people organize themselves, form political party, we can't mistakenly vote them into power. It can't be say na them they rule Nigeria. The biggest mistake wey Nigeria don make for history na allowing group of people wey be say their mind, their head, they think the same way to form political party, they can't vote them into power. Na the biggest mistake wey Nigeria don make for history be this. Make I watch this video, hear wetin this man they talk with him mouth, you go wan comot tears for your eyes. But don't be patient to watch, just hear the kind of response wey dem give am from Labour Party and PDP. Make you take note the kind of people wey be say APC be. Watch the video, make me share am abeg.
Mr. Ogenye, your party is being accused of fomenting this violence, and you've heard the soundbite about what is happening. In fact, your candidate, the presidential candidate, there is a statement attributed to him in a viral video, which has raised some concern in the opposition about the manner in which this election is going.
To be very frank, it is psychopathic for the PDP to accuse APC of fomenting violence. If you check out the states that this violence are being mounted, especially against INEC facilities, they are APC control states. So the APC control state cannot foment crisis in its own state. So it is the same PDP, knowing fully well that it has no chance of winning the 2023 election, now decided to resort into fomenting crisis and causing violence. And when they cause this violence, they come out to play the victim. And thank God that Nigerians are not that gullible. What I'm saying here is the APC crisis that lingered for a while came to an end the day Senator Bola Adamu emerged as national chairman of the party. The reconciliation process of the party was concluded just a week after Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu became the presidential candidate of our party. Since then, the APC has been a very united family, and what we're doing right now is to ensure that we have a holistic ideology, programs, and initiatives of how to win the 2023 election. Remember, APC administration introduced these BVAS. That is the highest sensitive machine for accreditation. The APC government is the one that also amended the Electoral Act, 2022. All the processes leading to credible election in 2023 and beyond is being initiated by the APC. So the same party cannot be scared of electoral victory or loss, then going back to foment crisis. I want to state very clear that Nigerians should know the kind of candidates they will vote in 2023, because the rate of criticism and accusation by the PDP and Labour Party against the APC candidate show very clear that these guys have already ganged up against the Nigerian people. No one, no Nigerian will tell you that Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu is not credible enough to lead Nigeria. President Muhammadu Buhari has done his best as president of this Federal Republic of Nigeria. We have seen the second Niger bridge. We have seen the Oweto bridge be completed, and so many other infrastructures. We have seen so many social investment programs. We have seen the security that was a major crisis and challenge to this country. You have seen that at least it has been brought to barest minimum. And the president also assured us that he's going to hand over a safe and terrorism-free Nigeria, and it's almost achieving it. So the incoming president, Senator Bola Ahmed Tinubu, has also assured that he will continue from where President Buhari may stop.
All right. So there was the viral video, which are also part of what I would like you to react to, which the spokesperson of the PDP has raised and saying the statement made by a presidential candidate is tantamount to inciting violence. Because according to them, they're saying, based on the statement attributed to Bola Tinubu, that people should, power is not served a la carte and it must be taken. That means it's inciting violence.
It is not violence in any nature. When the candidate of my party made it very clear that power is not served in an a la carte, it's simply telling you that it must be done. You must go out and work to retain power. We are not taking power. Remember, we are to retain power because we are in power. And it is only APC that will tell you that governing party instead of ruling party has been proclaimed by the previous PDP administration. So we are the governing party. We are to retain power. And to retain power, it will not be a la carte. You must ensure that it's properly cooked and served. And how do you do this? Because we have also been able to stop this rigging process by introducing beavers, we must go back to the people and conscientize them, sensitize them, educate them, and also try as much as possible to let them see reasons why we should retain power. And that is what he means by power is not serving an a la carte. So what PDP is saying is to run into the media, address a press conference that the power is not serving an a la carte simply means crisis. I don't want to accuse their presidential candidate because he's not viable enough to challenge my candidate. And I don't want to even go by any way selling their candidate. And that is why you see me, I'm not going about what they are saying. They have made more mistakes in terms of electoral campaign than even the APC. I'm not going to that.
Mistake, what do you mean by that?
So,
are
making mistakes.
You referring to the Labour Party or the PDP?
The Labour Party and PDP.
How do you mean?
For example, the first point of call of Mr. Peter Obi is failures. It's patronizing failures. If you check the people that surround this campaign, they are failures. People that are not able to take responsibility for their actions are the people.
Can you be more precise in what you're saying?
Yes, I would say that. I don't want to even go into the aspect of his DG who was just convicted. I'm talking about the people that patronized and made up Peter Obi's campaign. Can you name them? Who is there? Who is in Peter Obi's campaign?
No, because you made a statement, and that is very sweeping. And when you say he has failure around him, he has people who are failure
around him.
What do you mean? So because if there's going to be a response,
the governors that surrounded Peter Obi, they are all failures.
Do they have governors in the Labour Party?
No, there are governors that he go to visit regularly. People that have failed their various states that Obi patronizes on a daily basis. Obi is not even doing campaign. So I don't want to popularize him because he knows very well that he cannot even score 25% across the two-thirds of Nigeria to win an election. But I'm very grateful that he's contesting because it's making things easier for my party. Because the Southwest is already there. The Northwest is already there. For us, I'm talking about the APC. Then the Southeast is where Obi has gone to take. The part of South is where he's taking. So it is PDP vote that Obi is reducing.
Let me allow, because you touched lastly now on the Labour Party. Mr. Farotimi is here, who is the spokesperson of the Labour Party. Would you like to respond to what Mr. Opoku has said in relation to your party, the campaign organization, and he made direct references to people in your campaign organization?
Sure, you should have seen me laughing my head off in there. It's actually quite amazing when somebody who is even remotely associated with the APC, talk less of one speaking on his behalf, presumes to point at anyone and label them failures. The very definition of failure is the I don't even know, maybe I should say all parasites club. Because at the end of the day, I don't want to turn this into some brickbat session, but it actually takes some serious cojones for a man to look at Peter Obi and those who are surrounding him and propelling his campaign, the likes of Papa Emmanuel Ijewere, the likes of Pat Utomi, Baba Ayo Adebanjo, and a host of others in the people who have been in the private sector all their lives, who have added value to this nation and who are hoping to rescue it from itself and the damage that has been done to it by the evil that has been inflicted upon it, particularly in the last 7 years under the rulership of General Buhari and the cohorts in APC, and then somebody is saying failure. The very definition of failure is the APC and all who are associated with it. If we were in the same political environment, he should bury his head in shame and not presume to even present a candidate. And that is not me being angry. That is me telling the gentleman the truth. If he's looking to define failure, he should look to anything that means APC. It has been ruining us for this country in the last 7 years plus. This country has been practically grounded to a halt, damaged almost beyond repairs. You almost have to begin to reimagine it before you can put it back together. And the man speaking on behalf of those who ruined it to this point presumes to call anybody failure. Who represents failure more than General Buhari and everything that can be labeled APC? So please, I can't engage with him at an intellectual level to discuss the failings, but it is obvious to anyone with a modicum of reasoning that there is nothing but failure associated with the APC. So it cannot be a debate based on reason anyway. So let me just leave it at that. As you have rightly asked, what governor does the Labour Party have? We don't have failure of failures anywhere around. It's the Nigerian people that constitutes the Labour Party, the victims of the APC and the PDP's misrule. Those are the people in the Labour Party. Whether they are in the public sector or they are in the private sector, we are the ones who have been the victims of the misrule. And we are coming together trying to find a way out of this mess. And those who are fed fat on Nigeria with nothing else to do but public life presumes to talk about failures around us. That is pretty preposterous and very rich coming from somebody representing APC.
Mr. Anthony, I wanted you to have a chance of to respond to Mr. Okpoku on some of the allegations, on some of the things he said.
So thank you very much, but I'll quickly respond just to my boy in the studio over there, but Dele Farrow to me. He says that PDP and APC are the problems. He forgets that his candidate was in the PDP barely 6 months ago. And if that's the case, now all of us did this matter together. but like he is, I'm also a political activist. And just to answer your man from APC, who I think is doing a yeoman's job, defending the indefensible, he should be aware that some of us fought the APC government to a standstill for them to pass the Electoral Act and the BVAS that he is touting today, that as one of the legacies of the APC. I personally, with the late Ariyo Atoye Dare, were protested several times in front of the National Assembly to get that bill passed. So it is not a doing. We actually had hoped that President Buhari would have signed it in 2019. Perhaps he wouldn't be here today. And he knew those consequences when he refused to sign the Electoral Act. And as for electoral violence, I don't think PDP visited violence upon itself in Kaduna during our presidential rally, where our rally was attacked. I live streamed most of those rallies. I lost over 3 cameras in that incident. I lost a lot of equipment in Kaduna. Then we went to Borno. We were again attacked by the APC, by APC talks. Like I said, a member of the PDP has taken the majority leader, Doguwa, who on camera threatened people not to vote for any other party but the APC in his state. So if it comes to violence, we know those that are afraid, insecure, and that they have totally lost out in this election, either by the credibility of their candidate or the political party that they would presume to present before Nigerians. Looking at the indices and statistics, I certainly do agree with my mod Dele Farrow to me that APC has no business in this election if we were a same country. Because looking at the myriad of failures and stemming from the kind of candidate they are even presenting, who does not even and cannot even debate, has not been able to attend a point. I think, Seun, you've been having debates. The PDP was unable to attend the first one, but I'm sure you saw the performance of our presidential candidate at your last debate. I'm sure all questions you put to him were duly answered, and I think has convinced a lot of Nigerians that perhaps going into the 2023 election, we need a lot more of experience. Imagine that the situation we're in now today, it doesn't require, if you were to put Nigeria as a patient in critical condition in the ICU, you would not need a surgeon that has just finished 8 years of school. You would need a consulting surgeon that understands that this is a precarious situation and that only he, as a consulting surgeon with years of experience, having performed that surgery before. Let me draw your mind, Chiu, and avert you to something. And we're talking pure data here. In 1999 to 2000, Nigeria's GDP growth was 0.5. By 1999, when Atiku Obasanjo held the reins of Nigeria, and Atiku, as chairman of the Economic Council, drove Nigeria's economy so much that by 2000, our growth had gone to 5.1% GDP growth. By 2001, our growth had gone to 5.9. By 2002, Nigeria experienced a phenomenal growth to 15% GDP growth. Now, I want to juxtapose this to 2015 when we came in. The APC by 2016, drove our GDP to 2.5, and by 2017, we are at 0.75. And we have never grossed beyond 3% GDP growth, which has only happened once in the 7 years that we have matrixed the growth index of the APC performance as a government. So I will tell you very solidly that, as we have seen, and I'm sure people saw the Katsina rally, which is the home state of the president, that was a clear indication as to where this election is going. Unfortunately, some people, instead of campaigning, have decided to take a religious route or an ethnic route to this election, which my candidate has avoided as a pan-Nigerian. But unfortunately, we are seeing that we are going to have an election that is basically divided into three, where you have one side of the country going towards the southwest, one side going towards the southeast, and the entire north going in one direction. And that's very unfortunate. That's not the kind of country the PDP stands for right now. We are at a crossroad. We are at a very precarious position. You have to look at what the candidates are offering each other. I know that you're going to go into the next topic with this certain harassment of the governor of Central Bank by a candidate who is afraid that the new policy that is being introduced into the system will stop them from whatever
Anthony, let me
power grabbing schemes they have.
Yeah, so let me allow Ms. Opoku, because you also need to be able to respond.
Thank you very much, Sheung. Yes, the PDP representative in this discussion made it very clear that Atiku and Obasanjo spearheaded economy that was grown to an extent in this country. The same President Olusegun Obasanjo told Nigerians and the world that if he supports Atiku Abubakar to become president, even God will not forgive him. That statement is still valid as of today. I want to also add that the PDP campaign team, if you go around it, all what Senator Dino Melayo said against PDP are still valid up till now. When he said PDP to Fiekwa, is still valid. All what former Vice President Atiku Abubakar said against PDP are still valid.